So today we are going to have you all help us tell a story about Stora Lungegårdsvann. And for those of you who don't know, Stora Lungegårdsvann looks like this and is located just outside this building. You're all probably familiar with it. And it's connected to the fjord through the passage that goes along the BIO building. Plus, obviously, there's also a river input, which you can see just along the bottom corner. And that's bringing fresh water into Stora Lungegårdsvann. Now, as recently as 2002, not so recent, but Bergen Kommune decided that they wanted to implement a recreational bathing area in Stora Lungegårdsvann. And the location for that area would be right next to this river input. So that's the dream, is to make a swimming spot here. But to do this, you need to make sure the water quality is safe and that it meets water quality standards. But a little bit of history about Stora Lungegårdsvann might make you hesitant to jump on in. Since about the late 1800s, there's been construction around the area rather continuously. There's been high industry pollution. There are sewage pipes that travel underneath that have leaked as recently as 2011. There's boat traffic and boat pollution. And it's also a perfect place for urban runoff and rainwater overflow to collect. So, of course, you want to make sure you're testing the water quality before opening a swimming place. And as you've heard from previous groups, you can look at E. coli, phosphorus, and you can also look at biodiversity. But we're going to simplify biodiversity for our presentation and just think of biodiversity as a good thing in general. And then also the presence of heavy metals and garbage can also indicate that it's not the best place to go swimming. So for the past 4 years, BIO300 students have been monitoring the water quality at Stora Lungegårdsvann, as well as Bergen Kommune, who have been taking water samples more regularly. And today we want to share with you our most recent results, but also take you through a story about what affects the water quality and what needs to happen around Stora Lungegårdsvann and in Stora Lungegårdsvann to make it possible to open a swimming spot there. Okay, now comes the fun part where you guys can all learn about your props. Before putting them on, the red hats today are going to signify E. coli. So everyone who has a red hat, raise your hat. All right, this is E. coli. Red is E. coli. E. coli is bad, as we've learned from previous presentations. We don't want too high levels. Okay, now can we see the yellow hats? Those indicate phosphorus levels. And this is a nutrient, but if it's too high, it can be dangerous for the water body, causing eutrophication, using up oxygen levels, or supplying bacteria. And then the green hats out there, those signify biodiversity. So we want to see more green hats. Green hats are good. And Barbara's writing up a little cheat sheet here for you, just in case you need a reminder. And then obviously the tinfoil hats represent heavy metals. And the black hats with garbage attached to them are going to represent garbage. All right. And so headbands. Yes, and the blue headbands that everybody got, they're the most important part because you represent the water of Stora Lungegårdsvann. So those of you who have red, green, and yellow hats, you should have a number on your hat. So everyone see your number, know your number, because Jeanette will be giving you instructions on when to put on your hat and when to take off your hat based on your number. So listen carefully for that. But most importantly, throughout all of this, just remember to stay focused on what everything means, what the different colors are indicating, and kind of the process that Stora Lungegårdsvann goes through.
So if the ones with number 1 to 9 put on their hats, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And also the blue headbands, the garbage, and the tin foils. Great!
Welcome, everybody. You are now inside Stora Lungegårdsvann. And what I want you all to do is take a look around and keep your eyes peeled for those different colors. I want you to see that there are too many red hats currently in Stora Lungegårdsvann. There are too many E. coli bacteria. They are yellow hats, not significantly high compared to the E. coli, but they're still there. And we only have one lone biodiversity represent all the plants and animals in Stora Lungegårdsvann. We have heavy metals sitting in the sediments, and we have garbage lining the shores. So, as you can see, the state of Stora Lungegårdsvann right now is not a great place to go swimming.
No swimming.
Flag's going to be here for the presentation with flags, so you keep an eye out for when that flag changes to green, because that will signify that it's okay to go swimming. Right now, it's not. Oh. So now we're going to take you through some scenarios. The first, as you may know, is rain, and that happens sometimes here in Bergen. And what happens when it rains is it can carry stormwater and sewage water that doesn't fit into those sewage pipes and overflow into Stora Lungegårdsvann. It can also wash water from the sidewalks that has, dog poop that people didn't clean up or agricultural waste, and that can cause an increase in phosphorus and E. coli levels.
So would the ones with hat 10, 11, 12, and 13 put on their hats?
So we have an increase, and this is from all that runoff that I just mentioned. So we're not going in the right direction. This has made water quality worse, and it's not okay for swimming.
No swimming.
Oh my God, there's a pipe leaking, there's a pipe leaking. Oh no, there's a pipe leaking.
So as recently as 2011, reported leaks have been from the pipes in Stora Lungegårdsvann. And this is obviously just transmitting fecal matter, phosphorus, and E. coli directly into the water of Stora Lungegårdsvann. And this is not helping the water quality.
So would the ones with hat 14, 19, 2, 19 put on the hats? That is 14, 15, 16, 17, and 19. Great.
So look around. Water quality has gotten worse. You see too many red hats, too many E. coli, too many phosphorus, still only one lonely biodiversity, heavy metals, and garbage. So it's not okay to go swimming.
No swimming.
But fortunately, we have lovely people from Bergen Kommune who are helping with pipe maintenance, and they can help repair pipes, maintain pipes, and make sure that those leaks aren't happening. So as you can see right here, we have live action of somebody from Bergen Kommune fixing
Oh, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. Oh, good.
Now this won't have an immediate effect, but over time, if there's no pipes leaking and contaminating, that is going to have a positive effect on water quality.
So would the hats 14 to 19 take them off?
So great, hats have disappeared. Everyone look around. Notice that it's getting a little bit better. But it's still not good enough to go swimming. Now, we have time passing. Let's say a year has passed. No pollution, no leaks, no dumping. And these are all bad things we don't want to happen, but with time passing and that tidal flushing and input from the river, there's a chance that the water quality could be improving just simply by time.
So 10 to 13 can take off the hats, and also 8 can take off their hats.
So we're going in the right direction. Still not quite good enough to go swimming, but at least the time with no leaking pipes made a big difference. Alright, and if you take a walk just outside, you'll see garbage. You'll see needles, you'll see broken glass, and those are not good indications that you want to go swimming on a beach that's full of used needles. So what we need to do is have a systematic way to pick up the garbage. And that's not too challenging, and it's something that can be done. So a systematic garbage pickup, we can get rid of these guys, put their hats in the garbage, clean up, and make progress. But the water quality still isn't quite good enough. Still have red hats, still have too many yellow hats, only one biodiversity.
No swimming. I don't.
But another thing we can do, as I mentioned, that overflow from rainwater can be a big problem for Stora Lungegårdsvann water quality because it can bring that extra E. coli and extra phosphorus. So if we make separate rainwater pipes, this has been successful in other locations, that carry the excess water that doesn't need to be overflowing the sewage pipes, there's less of a chance that you'll have that overflow of E. coli and phosphorus and fecal matter. So this is a good preventative matter. But it hasn't quite solved the problem yet. So still no swimming. Yes. So here we are. So what happens now?
Nothing.
Nothing. We've made those extra rainwater pipes so it's not getting worse. You remember last time we saw the red hats, we saw the yellow hats, an increase. Now that's not happening. So that's a great step in the right direction.
Nothing happened and no swimming.
We're making progress. So next, we still have our heavy metals that are leaking toxic sediments. We haven't forgotten about those. But the only known way to get rid of those would be to cover them up. And they've already done some of this in Stora Lungegårdsvann, but there needs to be more covering up of the sediments. So this is a step in the right direction. We still have too many red hats and too much phosphorus though, so we're not quite there yet.
Still no swimming.
But now again we have that time passing. And remember that heals the time, the flowing of the water, the new input. So that makes a positive change.
So would number 2 and 5 to 6 take off their hats? And number 20 and 21 can take on their hats. Yeah.
Okay, so here we are. If you look around, green, you see more green. Remember, green is good. Green indicates that biodiversity, which means maybe the water quality is good enough to support other life. And that's a good sign.
Can you swim?
Yes. But this is a hypothetical situation. This is not how current Stora Lungegårdsvann is, unfortunately. So, we're going to rewind. Everyone take off their hats, uncover the sediments.
And number 1 to 9 can then put on their hats again, and also the heavy metals. And of course the garbage.
Just imagine. So we're going back to that first current state of Stora Lungegårdsvann, because this is what it's like now. We don't recommend swimming. E. coli levels are way too high. Phosphorus levels are high. There's not much life there. We know there's heavy metals from pollution, and you can visibly see the garbage. But remember that we went through all these steps that could make it possible to open a swimming spot. So it's a possibility, but right now, it's not the way. Yes. So thank you, and we'd like to thank Maria, who is our creative inspiration, idea maker, and everything.